Aloha and good
Right on.
afternoon,
Well, are
good
here.
morning, good evening. My name is Juergen Steinmetz, joining you from livestream.travel, eTurbo News in Honolulu, Hawaii. And with me is Dr. Peter Tarlow, as always, joining us from College Station in Texas. And we have two guests today, and they're actually both here from our wonderful Aloha state, Benjamin Tongson and Dustin
Yes.
HIRO. And I will explain a little bit about these two gentlemen. I met Benjamin just about an hour ago when I came back from lunch. And so I will explain about my lunch experience. But I thought it's so interesting what these guys are doing to have them on the event. And Peter, how's everything in Texas today?
Today was a great day in Texas. The weather was beautiful. It started out cold, but it went up to almost 70 degrees with nice blue skies and a gentle wind. And people were out in shorts. So it was a great day. A lot better than on the East Coast of the United States, where they're having a terrible blizzard. As you know, that New York has may have over 20 inches of snow. And they're expecting next week to have the coldest February in many, many years. And my grandchildren who live in Maryland are having a wonderful time because they're getting to be in sleds and they're out playing with snowballs and making snowmen. So they're very happy. I think the pets and the children are very happy. The people who have to go to work in the slush and the snow are not so happy.
Yeah, and I think who's also not very happy in New York, I talked to one of our correspondents earlier today.
Yeah.
There's an interruption in the COVID vaccine, but obviously it's not good news because we're all waiting. They cannot have people wait in the snow. So that is a delay, what is unexpected and definitely not good. But for the kids and the sled, I understand.
Yes.
This is a good thing.
The children and also the pets, the dogs are very happy. They're playing in the parks and having a great time. So the adults aren't so happy, but the children are happy. And so they're having a white February. But lots of other stuff is going on besides the issues of the weather. Lots of interesting things are going on around the world, and we probably should talk a little bit about that before we get to our guests and your serendipitous meeting with them during lunch. So let's talk just for a few moments about everything that else is going on in the world. You want me to start, or you want to start here?
No. You start, Peter.
Okay. Well, one of the interesting conversations that I had today was with Mozambique. And I'm very lucky I speak Portuguese, so I'm able to speak with them. And Mozambique is, for those who are unfamiliar, it's just north of South Africa on the Indian Ocean. It has lots of problems, but lots of wonderful things. So Mozambique does have some issues, military issues on its northern border. And it's had some terrible typhoons, hurricanes in the last season. Right now, it's a rainy season there. And they're having, like through much of Africa, problems with COVID, which is, of course, a worldwide phenomena. On the other hand, they're looking beyond that. And they're starting to think about ways that they can create a good tourism industry for maybe the Asian market, the African market, and even the European market. They have beautiful beaches and lots of interesting cultural and folklore. And so the issue is going to be to get beyond the health, to be able to turn Mozambique into a productive economic area. And so that's kind of a good thing, because we get so much bad news in tourism today that I think anytime you see people trying to come up with new ways to break through and create interesting phenomena, that's really important. So that's an important thing that's going on. We also see many countries are now working with trying to develop post-COVID experiences. And of course, the hope is as more and more vaccines come out, and of course, very soon we're going to have the AstraZeneca and the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. The Johnson & Johnson's great in the sense it's a little less effective, but it only takes one shot. And that means, especially for areas where people might not come back for a second shot, and you're a lot better off with 75% protection than zero. So that's another hopeful sign is coming. On the other hand, around the world, one of the big issues, which is going to touch all of us in tourism, of course, is the continuing roller coaster in the stock market as the little guys start attacking the big guys. And this is a real war. This is a sense of populism that's now coming to the stock market. No one quite knows what's going to be the result of that. And from a tourism perspective, the stock market reflects people's confidence in if they want to travel or not. So not everyone, of course, has millions of dollars in the stock market. But when the stock market goes down, people have a sense that there's a contraction going on and they get scared. One of the things we're seeing right now is a big expansion of silver. So silver has kind of gone to the roof at the moment. It may just be a bubble. It may be because they're trying to reverse short it. And therefore, this may be part of the Reddit syndrome that we're starting to see within the stock market. But one way or the other, that's going to really impact tourism tremendously. So lots of stuff is going on in the world. And a lot of times we have to connect the fact that what takes place in the world may not seem directly to be tourism news, but indirectly, it impacts everyone in the tourism industry. And Hawaii, that's everybody, because you guys desperately need the tourism industry to succeed in order for you to have a state economy.
I know, absolutely, Peter. And there is a little bit in some parts of the world, there is some encouraging news. Like today from China, Hyatt Regency opened a hotel in Ningzu Hangzhou Bay. I probably pronounced this wrong. And several other hotel groups, we reported about it in the last few days, opened dozens of new hotels in China. What, of course, is welcoming news in the travel and tourism industry, specifically in the hospitality industry. But in most parts of the world, unfortunately, we're not that far.
No.
In Europe, of course, we're completely locking down. And today, Tom Jenkins said, and Tom Jenkins, if you don't know, is the head of the European Tour Operator Association. And we'll probably have him on tomorrow. And he talked about change of legislation that makes tourism and transportation in Europe even more difficult with Brexit. Germany, for example, today announced that they will charge VAT tax, what is, I think, a tax of almost 20% for tour operators or anyone operating from the UK in Germany. And of course, tour operators stationed in other EU countries are not affected. And UK is no longer part of the EU. Now they have to pay this tremendous tax. I'm right across from the Ala Moana shopping center, what is the largest shopping center here in the state. And so many times I go to lunch, and I went to one of my most favorite Italian places, what is it, Ala Moana, and noticed the store I haven't noticed before. It's called HIRO Systems and Solution. So I wasn't really sure what it is, but I walked in there because I was just curious, and I met Benjamin, who explained everything. And before I make a complete fool out of myself, Benjamin and Dustin, maybe you can tell us a little bit more what you're doing, and because I thought it was quite fascinating. Welcome. You have to unmute yourself. I'm sorry, I muted you just to stop some background noise here.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was moving around, but yeah, I guess I'm really happy to be on the show with you guys. It's an honor. Happy to be here with Dustin as well, who's like my co-founder, CEO, and brother, and helped me make all of this possible. So we'd found solutions that are available that can sanitize organically without harming you. Because what's in the market nowadays is it'll kill the bug and it'll kill you. It'll kill the coronavirus, COVID-19, SARS-CoV-2 that causes COVID-19, and it's harmful to you as well. So what we have done was we had incorporated the use of two chemicals, which is TEG, and the other one is HOCl, otherwise known as hypochlorous acid. Your body creates this. It's organic. Your body knows what it is. So it's used to fight infection from your white blood cells when you get cut. And the best way to fight infection is with something organic, something that's safe for you, rather than something that can kill everything like the quats and ammoniums we have out in the market. But I mean, I'm happy to answer whatever questions you guys have technically. And then
So Benjamin,
as far as the business side is concerned,
tell me, because I don't live in Hawaii. So, and most of the people listening don't live in Hawaii. So Is your store dedicated to selling types of disinfectants, or what is in your store? Why would I walk into your store? So let's make it a little simpler.
Oh, okay, okay. No, well, first off, we have a really, really good, nice presentation in front of the store that displays what we have. The reason you'd walk into our store is because you're curious, and that's what we have a good presentation in the front, and
Well,
we
we
draw
know a
people in once they
presentation,
get curious to come in. And
Yeah, I mean,
It's
I
say
like-
walked in the store, if I can interrupt, because Peter, you weren't there, but I walked into the store because I came out and there was air coming out everywhere. So I thought,
okay.
what is this air
That's
doing
what I'm
there?
trying to get.
Are they trying to disinfect me? And I thought, so I walked
was
already
getting to
by and I
that.
went back. Yes. So
All right.
we're
So
getting
that's
to
because
that.
our listeners weren't there either.
Right.
So I want to make it really clear to our listeners,
Sure,
what it is.
sure.
In other words, do you just go and get some disinfectant, or is it? What is the purpose of your store? What are you selling?
The purpose of our store is to educate people on how to fight and live with this new normal that we have
I
of,
see.
having to put on masks and having to sanitize everything constantly and to make
Yes.
things easy, efficient, empower everyone. We have a very easy system to use. It's
Okay.
organic. It's very, very, very easy, simple.
So
I mean,
it's a-
I could
so-
explain the whole thing to you.
So it's more or less like a store for disinfectants.
Well, but let me just also,
Sanitization.
because people don't really see it. When you walk in, maybe you can show us something. I don't know if you have a picture of it, but you kind of see, it's like it's like you have fume coming out everywhere, right? Out of, it's like, looks like you're selling air conditioning in a way, right? So
Yeah,
you don't
so
sell a
let me
chemical. Yeah, Dustin. Okay.
let me
go ahead.
let me just
Yes.
pop in, and then let
Please
me
do,
share a
Dustin.
little bit about the history, and then about kind of the concept and the intention behind how we've designed not only our storefront, but our branding, our systems, and our solutions.
Great.
So this started all the way back in the beginning of last year, spring to summer, right after the corona, the COVID-19 had hit us here in Hawaii. There were a lot of lockdowns. Some of the initial lockdowns that were put into place, we were brought down to tier 2 and then tier 1. Me and Ben have been good friends. We've done a bunch of wonderful business projects before. I've been very blessed. And some of our current small businesses were hit really hard during this time.
Yeah.
Ben was also struggling with trying to bring his family back from overseas. And I had lost some really dear loved ones to COVID. So there was a really, personal motivation to
Sure.
come up with a solution that would work, not only work, but would be easy to use, cost efficient, and also non-toxic and safe. And when we looked into the marketplace, what was currently available, like Ben mentioned earlier, there only were a lot of toxic, very volatile chemical organic compounds available, even like pesticides, and very expensive, systems as far as the application. So, in the midst of an economic impact, when people are financially impacted, along with all of the other restrictions, to ask someone to pay an exponential amount for disinfecting is not a reasonable or a long-term solution.
Yes.
And so that's kind of how the heart and the concept of HIRO was born, was how could we offer something that works, that could be used personally, daily, consistently, frequently, and that would be safe and non-toxic organic.
How are you doing? Are a lot of people coming into your store?
Yeah, we've been doing really, really great. One of our divisions of our company is called HIRO's Heart. We really believe in giving back and taking care of the community out here in Hawaii. And so we actually started our business with kind of a full, giving back and serving the community kind of initiative. So we've been providing free sanitization services to all of our local small businesses, to schools, state departments. We've helped the
Great.
HPD and the fire department as well.
So
Now,
maybe
so
they could do it around the
bas-
world. Can you expand?
Sorry, say it one more time.
I said they could use you, like for example, in Chicago, where they're having this big fight over should children go back to school or not go back to school, and they say it's not sanitary. Could we expand your services and bring them to lots of cities in America?
Absolutely. That's a wonderful question. our vision when we put the HIRO together was not just to, solve a problem for Hawaii, but we actually brought in some really close friends and partners that are part of our executive management team from Florida, from some parts of California, Texas, and Arizona. So we do have our phase 2 initiative of, sharing our solutions all into the greater North America area.
Good.
Now,
That's
basically,
wonderful.
maybe it's interesting to understand, Dustin, if you can maybe explain a little bit, because when I walked into the store, I saw Benjamin was putting a mix, I think, of water and salt together and said, "This is going to work."
Yes.
So explain how does this work?
So another great question, Juergen. What's really interesting is the solutions that we've made available, which is TEG, triethylene glycol, and HOCl, which stands for hypochlorous. These solutions have been around and studied by many of the most credible American government associations since the 1930s and 1940s. So we're talking about coming up on a century, in the making as far as the efficacy of these solutions being backed. HOCl and TEG both have been proven and tested and are listed with the EPA, the CDC, the FAA, American Journal of Public Health, and they're also considered USD and FDA food grade safe. So I know you mentioned the vinegar and salt mixture, and it's really interesting. I remember my grandma back in the day using vinegar to clean everything. Really, the solution to everything was vinegar. And sometimes some of the beauty in the power of natural elements is found in simplicity. And so our HOCl is a very simple solution. We've developed a generating system, which basically electrolyzes or charges the solution. And it's 3 simple ingredients: tap water, white distilled vinegar, and uniodized salt. And we have a range of settings from 5 minutes all the way up to 30 minutes, where you can make 150 parts per million of HOCl all the way up to medical grade disinfectant, 800 parts per million.
It will work, definitely. I was thinking,
yes,
you could do an extension and add apple cider vinegar to it, which people use to lose weight, and then you could lose weight while you disinfect.
Oh boy.
So you could deal with 2 problems at the same time.
We're gonna need
more and more
a
people are
slightly
using
more
apple.
advanced system.
Pardon?
We're gonna need a slightly more advanced system to accomplish that initiative.
Yeah, but
That's
I mean,
funny.
think about what you would accomplish for something like that. And as you know, people are using apple cider vinegar in everything right now because it's one of the key elements for people to lose weight. And again,
yes,
you can drink it; it won't hurt you. It's good for you, a matter of fact, and it's anti-allergenic. So if you could combine that with, you'd be going against allergies. You could lose weight, and you could disinfect all in one.
Now, tell us, Dustin, here in Hawaii, of course,
and you can call it the Peter Tarlow system there.
Oh boy,
we definitely will.
No, Dustin, I'm wondering, because a lot of our viewers and listeners and readers are in the travel and tourism business. We have a lot of business in the hospitality industry, is one of our largest audience. And so I'm wondering, here in Hawaii, of course, we live on tourism. There's a lot of hotels in our immediate neighborhood from your store. So how would your system benefit a hotel? Is it something what hotels are really using, or did you talk to hotels, or how could they benefit from it?
Yeah, that's an absolutely great point. Part of our market strategy when we developed these particular systems and solutions was to penetrate the market with helping the most high traffic, high contact, high risk to exposure type of businesses and locations. And so part of that initial group was going after hotels and speaking with hotels, seeing how we can serve them and help them. Obviously, for the past majority period of time, most of the hotels have been closed down, unfortunately, and the tourism has been very restricted. I know they have started, reopening, following certain sanitization measures and social distancing. So we're definitely interested in connecting with the right people so we can help our tourism industry out here. We've spoken with a couple of management individuals and also some people that are involved. So far, it's been a little bit of a process, if you will, to get in contact with the decision makers. But that's definitely a demographic that for Hawaii in particular would definitely benefit us significantly.
And now I know we have talked
might
about hotels. We have talked about, is it infrared? I may get this wrong, Peter. I know
ultraviolet.
ultraviolet. Is
Mhm.
this how would you compare your system with the ultraviolet cleaning system?
Sure.
I think what is used on airplanes and also in hotels.
Mhm. So another great question. So there are a lot of phenomenal solutions out there, pre-COVID, and also some great applications of technology that have been developed, right, to combat the COVID. As far as I know, out here in Hawaii, I know some of the hotels have been using a couple of different applications. One of them is a fogging type of system. The solutions they are using, unfortunately, are some of the current solutions that are on the market, which are not non-toxic. So there is a 48-hour wait time between after a guest leaves, they sanitize before they can allow the next guests to come into the room. So there is a loss of 2 days of booking time as far as backing guests back to back. They're also using UV light technology, which you mentioned, which works and has been proven to work. It's been around for some time. I would say the significant difference as far as efficacy with UV light application versus HOCl and TEG, the solutions that we have, would just be the time frame needed for exposure to that particular area in order for it to fully be able to sanitize and disinfect that particular area.
But your system, could it replace ultraviolet, or are you competing with ultraviolet?
I would not say that we are competing with ultraviolet. It is a different type of application. It definitely works for us when we, put together our particular systems and solutions. We really dig into what would be, not only the quickest, but one of the most effective and powerful and non-toxic type of applications that we could make available at a very cost efficient type of a price point.
I think that's really the issue, is cost efficiency.
Yes.
You're right that ultraviolet, when I traveled from Texas to Washington over Thanksgiving, we brought an ultraviolet lamp with us. But one, you have to use batteries. You have to make sure that it doesn't go out of power. If you had a spray, that would work just as well in most cases, or some sort of fog, or maybe a humidifier, which you put.
And that's what you guys have, right? That's what I saw, Benjamin. Yes.
And if you put a humidifier in, that would do absolutely the same job by 1/16 the cost. And
absolutely.
So and the other area where it's needed terribly in the tourism industry is in airline terminals, because the airplanes themselves are safe. The terminals, that's a kind of a question.
Yes.
I think that those are lots of ideas, and maybe somebody listening today will be ecstatic and want to get in touch with you. How would they do that?
Absolutely, and great point. Just to kind of confirm, Peter, two of the points you made. Two of the most prominent applications that we looked at, which we have made available, is an aerial sanitization that works immediately and that's safe. And that's we've accomplished that through our HIRO system using triethylene glycol, and also a contact surface application that would work upon contact without oversaturation. Right. And so we've accomplished that through our sidekick systems using HOCl. If people want to get in contact with us, like you mentioned, thanks so much, Juergen, for stopping by earlier today. We have a beautiful Ala Moana location located in Ala Moana Shopping Center, right between Champs and the main food court on the ocean side. And we've put together a really fun, immersive experience, if you will. It's called our NAS experience, NAS. And that stands for Nano Atmospheric Sanitization. And basically, it's a fun, short, completely immersive experience that will introduce you to the world of non-toxic sanitization. You folks can also visit us at HIROSystemsHawaii.com. That's HIRO SystemsHawaii.com. Or you can give us a call at 808-359-2298. And
Say
we're
that
always
slowly.
on site to personally help you
Say the
folks.
number again slowly. If
Yeah,
someone
and we're
wants
going to put it on the screen as well, so people can easily see it. So
Okay, great.
don't worry about it. But yeah, the store is nice, but a lot of people are not here in Hawaii, and they may not have a
Mhm.
chance to immediately visit us. And from what I understand from your colleague Hayden, I believe, in the store,
Hayden,
who
yes.
said he's from Arizona originally, and you
Mhm.
said you're really expanding to other areas. So I think the
Yes.
website would be a good start to find out. And I also
Absolutely.
suggest you
Yes,
join our
absolutely.
World Tourism Network and maybe our aviation committee and our hospitality group, because I'm sure we have many in the world that are interested
Great
to learn
network.
more about this. And it's great, yeah, great networking. And hopefully, if you do, we might have you on another event where we can talk about it within our interest groups. But this, it was quite an interesting visit today, I have to say. That's why I immediately thought, okay, we should get these guys on the show. And thank you
Thank
so
you
much
so
for your
much.
time and your
Thank
immediate
you so much,
availability.
Juergen.
Okay.
Yes, thank you so much.
And if you come to Texas, I'll be glad to frequent your Texas branch. Should you come to? Should you come to?
Excellent. Hey, we look forward to coming out there. We have a couple of partners out there already helping us to
You
to
can't say
share
partner.
the
You have to say
share-
howdy, partner.
howdy partner.
Howdy,
You have to learn
partner.
to speak Texan.
Okay. Well, thank you everyone for
Thank you.
listening, for watching, and we say aloha
Yeah.
here in Hawaii. And I wanted to remind
Aloha.
everybody, you find an archive on this on livestream.travel. You find this and many other events. And if you are watching us live on eTurbo News or any of our other platforms, look out for an article. And you can also link for the article, and you find the contact information for HIRO Systems Hawaii as well. But again, thank you very much, Dustin and Benjamin, for joining us. Aloha from here, and good night to Texas, and good morning,
Thank
good
you.
night, wherever
Good night,
you guys
y'all.
are.
All right. Take care. Have a
Peter,
great
honor
night.
meeting you,
Bye
Peter.
Bye.
Juergen,
Thank
thank
you.
you for
God
stopping
bless.
by.
Same here. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.